Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
Is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Stacy Lynn in Washington, in the southern Ukrainian city of Mykolaiv. Multiple strikes from Russian forces. CBS's Holly Williams reports attacks have also increased in other cities, and they're using Iranian-made kamikaze drones.
There were Russian strikes across the country this morning, and they seem to be targeting the energy and water supply, including a power plant in Kyiv, ahead of Ukraine's harsh winter. It follows yesterday's attack on Ukraine's capital by a swarm of so-called suicide drones.
Some concerns about the whereabouts of an Iranian rock climber who hasn't been heard from since competing without a hijab at a competition in Seoul. Here's CBS's Elizabeth Palmer.
Once video of Rikabi bareheaded went viral. CBS sources say she was invited to the Iranian embassy in Seoul on a they're stripped of her passport and phone and put on a plane for Tehran.
Hurricane Ian's threat isn't over yet. In the aftermath, cases of a deadly infection are on the rise. Our Jim Crisula reports.
Health officials in Lee County, Florida, home to Fort Myers, are seeing a spike in deadly infections caused by so-called flesh-eating bacteria in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. The bacteria is found in warm, salty water and can enter the body through cuts and other open wounds. That can lead to severe skin infections that may be life-threatening.
Well, get your hats, gloves, and scarves out. Weather Channel meteorologist Jordan Steele says it's already feeling like winter in much of the country.
20 degrees below average for the eastern half of the country, and some of that cold air going all the way down into south central Georgia, where we could be looking at record cold max temperatures only in the 50s there.
Australia will no longer recognize West Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Our Scott Maiman with details.
The Australian government wants to find middle.
Government remains committed to a two-state solution in which Israel and a future Palestinian state can coexist in peace and security.
Foreign Minister Penny Wong, but the decision's being seen as a power play over the previous Australian government, which she says at the time was just a move to win over Jewish voters ahead of a local election.
So what are the most popular Halloween costumes this year? Google Trends is out with its annual list of what people are searching for the most. And while the top spots feature costumes from TV shows like Stranger Things and movies like Spider-Man and Jurassic World, the most searched for costume is still a witch. But they didn't say whether it's a good witch or a bad witch. Stock futures are sharply higher this morning. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Tudor Dixon. To grow our economy and strengthen Michigan's agriculture industry. As governor, Tudor Dixon will stand up for small businesses so they can create good jobs for us. That starts with protecting family farms, because Dixon understands the value of keeping small businesses alive in our communities. Tudor Dixon knows that farmers' careful stewardship of the environment has made our state a worldwide leader in food production, which is why she will work in partnership with Michigan's agriculture industry to oppose overreaching bureaucratic regulations that cut off economic growth at the roots. And Dixon will fight inflation by opposing out-of-control government spending and taxes, making life more affordable for farmers and families that depend on them. As governor, Tudor Dixon will make economic growth job one. Whether you vote absentee or in person on November 8th, vote Tudor Dixon for governor. Paid for with regulated funds by Farm PAC, the Independent Expenditure Committee of the Michigan Farm Bureau. Not authorized by any candidate.
When I be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. I want to be a warm place on a cold day. Football stadium. I want to be a bike that races around the country. I want to be a bench on a forest trail. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We decided to volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement, too. We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic. We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 39 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A Saginaw man has been charged in connection with the deaths of 3 people in June, one of whom was a pregnant woman. 49-year-old Juan Morales appeared in court Monday for arraignment on 3 counts of open murder, 4 counts of felony firearm, and 1 count each of felon in possession of a firearm and carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent. The charges stem from a shooting in the early hours of June. Relatives dead and 2 more injured following a family event. One of the victims, Laura Buendia, was 7 months pregnant at the time. She was rushed to a hospital where she was pronounced dead, but doctors were able to save the baby, who was named Rosalina Buendia. Morales was arrested last Friday and is currently being held without bond. The matriarch of Bronner's Christmas Wonderland in Frankenmuth, Irene Bronner, has died at the age of 95. She passed away on Sunday. Irene was a teacher at Frankenmuth Public Schools before she and her husband Wally opened the Christmas store in 1951. She served on the store's board of directors and filled various roles. The Bronners passed on ownership of it in 1998, but stayed on to help out until Wally's death until 2008. Bronner is survived by 4 children, along with grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Funeral services will be held this Saturday at 11 a.m. at St. Lawrence Lutheran Church, with visitation from 2 to 8 p.m. on Friday at Cedarburg Funeral Home in Frankenmuth. Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist was in Bay County yesterday to participate in a roundtable discussion on the state's investment in education. While touring Lincoln Elementary and Bangor Township, Gilchrist highlighted the My Kids Back on Track program, designed to continue addressing unfinished learning with tutoring or other instruction before, during, or after school. The state has received $50 million in support of the program, though Governor Gretchen Whitmer is calling on the state legislature to invest an additional $230 million earmarked for it in the state budget. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
Hello, this is Kevin from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are Mid-Michigan's premier CPL Academy. Our instructors teach the fundamentals of self-defense in a friendly environment using state-of-the-art video simulation tools and a live fire range to help you build self-defense skills and learn proper technique. Visit our website, simu-range.com, simu-range.com to book. Use code RADIO25 to save $25. Applied Training Solutions, forward thinking, on target training.
Imagine this, a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories that last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
WSGW News Time, 9:00 is next. A mother and her son have been found dead in their Battle Creek home. 51-year-old Teresa Osborne and her 14-year-old son Caden were found in the home Saturday. Police reportedly say there were no signs a violent act that led to their deaths, and they are waiting for autopsy results. Members of the Calhoun County Critical Incident and Stress Management Team were at Lakeview High School on Monday to offer counseling to Caden's classmates. Organizers are promising changes after controversy over the winner of the women's race in this year's Detroit Free Press Marathon. Here's Michigan News Network's Sandra McNeil.
There has been some upset online from some of the runners over the first place winner. She had been banned in 2013 for 2 years for doping under a different name. She took home a $6,000 prize, and Marathon Vice President Aaron Belthoven says,
We, as a race, do not have an anti-doping policy in place. So there's nothing that we have as a mechanism to enforce this year.
But Belthoven says things will change.
What this has done for us is really make us prioritize and look towards implementing a policy for next year and prior to our registration for our 2023 race.
Sandra work.
A former president is headed to Michigan to campaign for candidates in the state. Barack Obama has a planned trip for October 29th to campaign for Governor Whitmer and other Democrats ahead of the November election. Obama will join Whitmer, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, and other candidates at a rally in Metro Detroit, but the exact location has not been released at this time. Whitmer's Republican challenger, Tudor Dixon, spent the weekend campaigning in the Upper Peninsula. WSGW News Time, 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Low pressure continues to bring rain and snow chances, while high pressure continues to build in over the Midwest, bringing lots of clear skies and cool temperatures to the middle portion of the country. Cloudy skies today with a high near 45 degrees. Mixed precipitation changing over to all rain later. Cloudy with scattered rain showers likely tonight with a low around 37 degrees. Chance for scattered showers on Wednesday, otherwise cloudy with a high near 44 degrees. Warmer on Thursday with cloudy skies and a high around 50 degrees. Friday partly cloudy with a high of 58. I'm meteorologist Angie Holliday with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now it's 40 degrees.
Now, the only local giving you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you, and welcome to our Tuesday edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. We will have open phones for the next 2 hours, believe it or not. 989-752-6111, but I've got a number of things to talk about before we get to the phones. One of them, we talk a lot about electric vehicles and the automobile on this show because, let's face it, it's an important part of Michigan's economy. Well, this morning we're going to talk about a company that wants to regain what it believes is the title of the world's finest automaker, and that is Cadillac. Now, up until this point, with a couple of exceptions I'll mention, I think it would be tough for Cadillac to say they were the world's finest automaker, considering the vehicles they were producing in recent years when you put them up against Rolls-Royce and Bentley and Mercedes-Benz and BMW and Audi and Genesis and the list goes on and on and on, to say nothing of the super and hypercar manufacturers like Ferrari and Lamborghini and the like. But now Cadillac has come up with a plan and a car to regain the title of world's finest automaker. It is the 2024 Celestiq, and that's spelled Celestiq. Celestiq. They've gotten into these weird names like Lyric, Celestiq. But this is no ordinary Cadillac. You don't go into the dealer and simply say, sell me a Celestiq. This is a bespoke vehicle that you literally work with Cadillac in the same way that you would work with an architect if you were building a home. Everything is customizable. And it starts at over $300,000 and goes up from there depending on how you do it, which is in the realm of Rolls-Royce, which I think is the basic Rolls-Royce starts somewhere around $280,000, somewhere in there. By the time you're done, you're close to $500,000 because you add everything. You pick your wood, you pick this, you pick that. And this Celestiq is going to be that exact same way. Everything is customizable. Everything can be done that you can imagine. For example, all the bright work, the trim, just to use a word, chrome. I don't know that it will be, but it'll probably be more brushed aluminum or things. Can all be monogrammed and decorated with artwork and whatever else you want, as can the whole vehicle. The vehicle will be hand painted in at least 200 colors available, and they can match just about anything else. It will take 2 weeks to paint, hand sand, and hand finish each vehicle. No machines. They will be using a lot of 3D printing for metal and other component parts. It will be an electric vehicle, 4-wheel drive. It will have all kinds of electronic advancements and screens. And again, everything that you can imagine. You will sit down with a customizer and over a period of time, plan your vehicle. Your vehicle will then be hand built in the tech center at General Motors, where they have put aside a factory floor to build these vehicles. But again, hand built. Personalization will go beyond, they say, what Rolls-Royce and Bentley can offer. Custom fabrics, colors, materials that you only find in ultra-luxe vehicles. It's going to begin in late 2023. So if you were to go in when the first time you could go in and order one, you could start, but your car won't start to be built until 2023. And it's estimated that they will build approximately 2 cars a day. Here's a list of just some of the things. More than 200 exterior colors in stock, and beyond that, Cadillac can color match anything a customer wants. This is from a Detroit Free Press article. Painting the body by hand, including multiple coats and sanding, 2 weeks. A new assembly center on the grounds of the General Motors Tech Center in Warren, Michigan, will produce at most 2 cars a day. Customers can have the car's hand-finished aluminum trim engraved with virtually any pattern throughout the Celestique. Your monogram, no problem. A motif from classic art, piece of cake. Now, they began developing this car at the same time the Lyric was being developed. That's the electric SUV that went on sale. But because this is more than just a vehicle, it's a redefinition of the brand, according to the article. GM Chair Mary Barra and President Mark Roos personally shepherded the development of the car, and they approved the time and the cost to make the vehicle unlike any other. It's a blank canvas, literally. They had a motto: if it doesn't make the car more epic, we don't do it. And one of the things they're going to revive is the Goddess, an Art Deco figure from classic Cadillac badges and hood ornaments. Again, it'll be an electric vehicle, 4-wheel drive. According to this article, it's going to have bespoke Michelin 23-inch Pilot Sport EV tires with sound-deadening foam and a special Mondrian strake pattern on the sidewalls. Adaptive air suspension, 5-link front and rear mechanical suspensions, continually adaptive all-wheel drive that varies front and rear torque for performance and shuts motors off to maximize range, which they estimate is 300 miles. Variable ratio power steering, rear steering, magnetic ride control, 4.0 adaptive damping, that's borrowed from the CT5V Blackwing sports sedan, active body roll control for improved comfort and stability, active rear spoiler reducing aerodynamic drag at low speeds and increases downforce at high speed. all kinds of other features, aluminum switches that have a laser light through them, surgical light, 55-inch display touch screen for gauges, infotainment, and all kinds of other stuff. 5 high-def touch screens, including 2 12.6 screens for passengers. Google built in for navigation, music, and personal assistant. Heated windshields and rear glass. Fixed roof divided into 4 quadrants that can be individually varied from transparent to opaque. Embedded LED lights around the glass plate's edge for interior light. 20-way heated, cooled, and ventilated front and rear seats. Armrests, door pads, heated and cooled. And according to General Motors, the Celestiq will feature every technology GM offers today, including new ones like the Ultra Drive, a hands-free driving system that promises hand-free driving on almost all roads, and they hope to introduce it before Tesla introduces theirs. Base price, more than $300,000. It will also feature a choice of charging. It'll have DC charging potential, 78 miles in 10 minutes with a 200-watt system. So there you go. If you're in the market for a new car and you want to be at the top, you want something that even out-bespokes Rolls-Royce and Bentley, Cadillac wants to return to the top of the heap. You know, in the same way that the term Rolls-Royce is used to signify quality in almost everything, it's the Rolls-Royce of. We used to say it's the Cadillac of. Cadillac wants to return to that position of prominence. And if nothing else, it's being built right here in Michigan. But you talk about a customized vehicle. I have seen videos of how Rolls-Royces are done, where you sit down with a designer and you go through everything. I mean, in Rolls-Royce, you can even get a ceiling that has fiber optic lights to represent the stars. And the whole ceiling lights up like a night sky. You know, for $25,000, $30,000, whatever it costs to put that in. Those are the kinds of things. Inlays in woodwork with artwork. It's just amazing what you can do, what you can order if you're willing to pay for it. Well, now Cadillac is going to offer you that opportunity. You don't just go in and check off some boxes. You sit down with a designer in the same way you'd sit down with an architect or a yacht builder, they mentioned in this article, and you customize every element of the vehicle. And I'm here to tell you, you know, some people will go, oh, yeah, 300,000 plus, who's going to buy that? I'll bet they sell out. That's going to be a bet. I'd be willing to bet anybody they will sell out. They will have so many orders on this car, they will be hard to keep up with it. It's the nature of the beast. It truly is the nature of the beast. All right, we're going to take a break. Again, it's open phones. If you got some thoughts on a car like this or electric vehicles, by all means, give us a call or anything else on your mind this morning.
Michigan, are you getting the most out of your Medicare benefits? Annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th, so call United Healthcare today. With the United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan, you get more from your Medicare dollar, now including better than ever dental, vision, over-the-counter, and prescription drug coverage. Call United Healthcare at 586-988-1832. Licensed sale agent. Benefits, features, and/or devices may vary by plan or area. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paper. Job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's a booth for Bishop Gold Group. Are you worried about your financial future as retirement gets closer? All over the country, soon-to-be retirees are fearing for their financial future as markets remain volatile. Bishop Gold Group helps you invest in gold and gold IRAs to protect your wealth and retirement during times of swings in the market. Secure your future today. Contact Bishop Gold Group by dialing pound 250 from a mobile phone and say the keyword Bishop Gold, or visit bishopgoldgroup.com.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street futures are riding high for a second day in a row. Better than expected earnings reports are buoying investors, along with an easing of the recent turmoil in the UK markets. Goldman Sachs is reporting a 43% drop in profits in the third quarter. Revenue for the investment banker falling 57% from a year ago. Earnings for the bank were $3.7 billion. $0.38 billion last year. However, per share earnings were up to $8.25, which is better than the $7.75 a share that analysts had predicted. Goldman Sachs also announcing a major reshuffling of its organization. And in a bid to boost its exposure to high-end booze in the U.S., announced it has bought a majority stake in Código 1530 Tequila, the brand backed by country music superstar George Strait. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Karen McHugh, invested.
With each mortgage-free home, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America made for us. Heroes that put their lives on the line for all of us, risking their lives for our country and our communities. These heroes need your help now more than ever. Help America's heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. I don't have time for the national partisan nonsense of the week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob Hilliker for Bay County.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. EACY.
Dr. Travis Stork here to tell you about a great pain reliever called Salon Pass Pain Relieving Patches. Salon Pass is pain medicine in a patch. You stick it right on sore muscles for up to 8 hours. Clinical research has shown that people that used Salon Pass reported less pain with improvement in mood, sleep, and the ability to work. Safe, effective relief is one peel and place away. Salon Pass, it's good medicine.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin bailout is here. Biden said we got enough money, man.
We don't have any money. We got money.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. The Art Lewis Show, as I said, open phones right up through 11 o'clock. We will have a guest for a few minutes up front at 10 o'clock, and I find it almost amusing. The guest is going to be Shanti Appello. She is a registered dietitian and health and wellness expert with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. We've talked to her many times. But today, she's going to talk about something I would not expect from her. It's National Pizza Month and National Pasta Month. And she's going to talk about eating pizza and pasta. I find that interesting from a health and wellness expert. We'll find out. Maybe she has a way of making them healthy. I don't know. But that will happen coming up after 10 o'clock for a few minutes. Errol's in Saginaw. Let's say good morning to our buddy Errol. What's up?
Sir, how are you doing?
We're doing very well.
Okay, you want some information this morning? I got some for you.
Well, I'm always ready.
Good. Put your hair piece on and we'll go.
Never happened.
You like that, you and me. Do you know how deep that the tunnel is going to be under the straits?
The Line 5 tunnel you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I read that, but I forgot.
Okay. The Line 5 is going to be 350 feet from the surface. That's where that's
Something, yeah,
that's
something like I remember.
And that's the same depth as the one that runs from France to from England to France.
Across the
and they
channel.
have never had a problem with that.
Yeah,
one,
no,
so-
I don't expect a problem. I like the idea of encasing the pipeline. It gives it an added layer of protection.
So do I. Yes, so do I.
I mean, I think it's insanity to shut down a supply of energy, that, particularly right now.
Well, I
You
don't
know.
think the governor's going to win that.
Well,
one.
I don't think so either. I don't think
No.
so either because it's a federal matter. I think they're pretty much
Well,
going to
it's
determine
a
that it's
matter
international.
It's a matter between that northern place and us.
You mean your home? And
Well, you know, when you grow up with 9 months of winter and 3 months of bad flowing, you have opinions of everything. So, talk to you later, sir. And my mother was born, by the way, in case someone thinks, my mother was born in Hastings, Maine. You know where Hastings, Maine is?
right
at?
up by the top, right?
No, underneath the St. Lawrence Seaway because they flooded it when they built. The
Oh, is
seaway.
that right?
They moved
No
to
kidding.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, they moved to New Brunswick. So
Is that when they moved to? That's when they moved to Canada.
yes, my grandfather and family moved to New Brunswick.
Uh-huh.
I never learned to speak French, but I know enough when they're talking about me. So,
Yeah.
and then I applied for citizenship because I was going to get married down here, and I found out I had dual citizenship, and it was good till I was 21 years old. My kids all had it too. It was an agreement between you.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it's still there, but all my kids had to make.
Well,
up
then,
their
did
mind
you?
by the time they were 21?
After you were 21, did you have to apply for citizenship in the U.S. or did you automatically get it?
Well, when I applied, they said you don't have to apply. You've got dual citizenship. I said, huh?
Do you still
And
have it?
so they said, nope. The only requirement is that I not leave the U.S. For very long within the first 5 years. All my service time in the Canadian Air Force counted the same as if I'd been in the service here.
No kidding. No, I find this interesting, Earl. I really do. So let me ask: do you still have dual citizenship then?
No. I had to make up my mind after I moved here for 5 years. I had to choose.
Oh, okay. So then you had to choose one or the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And would you believe I get a pension from the Canadian Air Force also?
Well, why not? You served.
Well, yeah. No, I was there. The only one I ever perturbed was Churchill when I was standing. I was on a part of an army guard when he visited Ottawa.
Oh, wow.
And I asked him to put out his cigar. It lasted me 3 days with no one talking to me. Superior office. The only thing that drove us, everyone nuts, is that we had to salute the officers' wives when we seen them on the base.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, they had a lot of stupid things. And that happened to be one of them.
Oh, well.
One of them. But, oh, well, you live with what you
You
got.
do. All right, Earl.
Yeah, talk to you, sir.
Talk to you, buddy.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Joe in Saginaw. Joe, good morning to you.
Hi, Art. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. Art, I had a question asked of me the other day, and I want to be in a coming election. And it regards the proposal. So if you know the answer to this one, I'd be grateful for the help. I read the analyses of the various proposals, but I want to see the exact language that will be put into any document the language is going to go into. So what's the best place to go to read the exact language as opposed to what it's going to do?
The legislature after it's done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
it's the old saying, the devil's in the details.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I have still not yet found a good source to give me all those details. A lot of times a lot of times the legislative enactment of something tends to color the way it's interpreted sometimes. Now, the proposals, because they are proposals voted on by the public, do have some specific languages in them that the legislature has to follow, and they can't usurp unless they pass the legislation prior to the public's approval. They can do that, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen now with the three proposals.
I know the local government units generally put the language right in there in terms of the proposal. But
the state does.
The
If you go to the Secretary of State's site, you can find the language of the ballot, but that doesn't give you the entire picture of the proposal.
No.
You'd have to do a lot of research to find it. It's online. You can find it online. You can find the language of the various proposals online. But again, once it hits the legislature after it's approved by the public, assuming it's approved in the election, then the legislature has to enact the enacting legislation, the enacting language, if you will.
Yeah.
And since it becomes a constitutional amendment, their hands are pretty well tied as to what they can do and can't do.
Good. Well, you make me feel much better. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Joe. Listen, thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye now. Let's take a pause and back with more.
Virginia, Kansas, Berkeley, Ventura, San Francisco, San Diego, Oakland, and Grand Junction, Little Rock, Springfield, Maryland, and Washington. Paul Young has been everywhere, man. But he hasn't spent a lot of time in Michigan. Paul Young has been away from Michigan for nearly 40 years, living in California and all around the country for decades. Now he's spending over $1 million of his fortune to buy a congressional seat here in mid-Michigan. Paul Young has an agenda in Congress, and it's not ours. Young's agenda would give tax breaks to millionaires like himself while raising taxes on the middle class and putting security at risk. And Young is on the side of wealthy drug companies against lower prescription prices for families and seniors. Paul Young is not from here, and he's definitely not for us. Paid for by House Majority PAC, theHouseMajorityPAC.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Smith & Wesson is committed to empowering Americans, no matter what. With inflation hitting everywhere, we've decided to make a change. Now, you can buy a Smith & Wesson most popular concealed carry firearm at an all-new low price, $100 off MSRP. We're absorbing the costs and passing along the savings to you so you don't have to compromise on personal security. Visit smithandwesson.com to find a Shield Plus near you. Smith & Wesson, always expect the best.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
It's time to play the WSGW Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Roofmax. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $2,000 by entering this football word online at WSGW.com. And the word this hour, halftime, H-A-L-F-T-I-M-E. It's halftime. It's an Alpha Media Company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. The Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Roofmax on WSGW.
Art Lewis, inviting you to explore America's last frontier, Alaska, from August 30th to September 10th, 2023. You'll fly from Detroit to Fairbanks for the start of a 12-day land and sea adventure. Ride the stern wheel of discovery as you learn about Alaska's diverse culture and rich history. Then it's on to Denali National Park for a tundra wilderness tour. From Denali, you'll ride a luxury dome rail car to Talkeetna and stay at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. The next day finds you driving to Whittier to board Holland America's New Amsterdam for a 7-night cruise. You'll see Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay, plus stops in Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan before sailing the Inside Passage to your final destination of Vancouver, BC. Past experience tells us this will sell out fast. For a brochure, send your address to me and I will forward the brochure to you. Send to Art Lewis at WSGW.com. That's ARTLEWIS at WSGW.com. Alaska is calling.
Casting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Art Lewis Show with open phones for most of the program this morning. Whatever you'd like to chat about, give us a call. Just to go over the proposals that Joe mentioned, I'll give you the basic languages of them. And you can find this online. This is coming from WXYZ in Detroit. But these are the 3 petitions and this is what you will see on the ballot. Proposal 1 is a proposal to amend the state constitution to require annual public financial disclosure reports by legislators and other state officers and change state legislator term limits to 12 years in the legislatures. That would mean 6 2-year terms in the House, 3 4-year terms in the Senate. It would even out. The proposed constitutional amendment would require members of legislature, governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, and attorney general file annual public financial disclosure reports after 2023, including assets, liabilities, income sources, future employment agreements, gifts, travel reimbursements, and positions held in organizations except religious, social, and political organizations. Well, it kind of cuts that out. Require legislative implement, but not limit or restrict reporting requirements. Replace current term limits for state representatives and state senators with a 12-year total limit in any combination between House and Senate, except a person elected to the Senate in 2022 may be elected the number of times allowed when that person became a candidate. Should this proposal be adopted, yes or no? Then there is proposal 2. Proposal 2 is a promote the vote proposal. Proposal 22-2, a proposal to authorize additional absentee voting provisions, early in-person voting, and donations to fund elections, and add current legal requirements for voter identification and post-election audits and canvasses to the Michigan Constitution. What does all that mean? Well, the proposed constitutional amendment would recognize fundamental right to vote without harassing conduct, require military or overseas ballots to be counted if postmarked by election day, provide voter right to verify identity with photo ID or signed statement, provide voter right to single application to vote absentee in all elections, require state-funded absentee ballot drop boxes and postage for absentee applications and ballots, provide that only election officials may conduct post-election audits, require 9 days of early in-person voting, allow donations to fund elections which must be disclosed, require canvass boards certify election results based only on the official records of the vote cast. Should this be proposed, yes or no? And then proposal 3, the Reproductive Freedom for All Act, proposal 22-3, a proposal to amend the state constitution to establish new individual rights to reproductive freedom, including right to make all decisions about pregnancy, allow state to prohibit abortion in some cases, and forbid prosecution of individuals exercising established right. This proposed constitutional amendment would establish new individual right to reproductive freedom, including right to make and carry out all decisions about pregnancy, such as prenatal care, childbirth, postpartum care, contraception, sterilization, abortion, miscarriage management, and infertility. Allow state to prohibit abortion after fetal viability unless needed to protect a patient's life or physical or mental health. Forbid state discrimination in enforcement of this right. Prohibit prosecution of an individual, a person helping a pregnant individual, for exercising rights established by this amendment, and invalidate all state laws that conflict with this amendment should it be adopted, yes or no. So those are the 3 proposals that you will be facing in terms of state proposals. They will be on all ballots in the state of Michigan. In addition, depending where you live, you will find ballot proposals on your ballot, which is why I suggest that you go online to mi.gov/SOS. That's the Secretary of State's site. Click on the election information box, and there's, I think, a question that says, what's on your ballot? You click on that, you fill out information on where you vote, and you can download a copy of your ballot to see everybody that's on the ballot running in your area and all the proposals, state and local, that are on your ballot, and the nonpartisan races, the judges. And then you have time to look it over, time to research the individuals if you need to, and go to the polls as an informed voter. First of all, it's better to be informed because then you vote as an informed voter. But it also saves you a lot of time at the poll. You can take that ballot, walk over to your little cubicle, and in no time you can have it all checked off because you know what you're going to be checking. So I strongly recommend that people get their ballot downloaded and read about the various candidates. All right. Now I know you love your pet. So does Subaru, because it's Subaru Loves Pets Month at Thalen Subaru, 4211 North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. And they put their money where their mouth is, because all this month Thalen is contributing $100 to a local shelter for every new Subaru sold in October. In addition, this Saturday, Thalen is holding a Subaru Loves Pets special event. Pets will be available for adoption at the dealership from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You could give a fur baby its forever home. The Subaru professionals at Thalen suggest you stop in to order the Subaru of your dreams or see what Thalen has on the way. Subaru features SUVs like Crosstrek, Forester, Outback, and Ascent. Cars including the Impreza and the Legacy, which I'm driving this month, a Touring XT model. And of course, if performance is your cup of tea, look at the BRZ and the WRX. Now, you can find more information online at thinkthalen.com, but mark your calendar for this Saturday, October 22nd, for the Subaru Loves Pets event. I'm going to be there from 9 to noon. I'll preview the event from 9 to 11. The event starts at 11 o'clock at Thalen Subaru, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. Thalen, serving your automotive needs for 45 years. Thalen.
Do you have Medicare questions? Confused by all those TV ads? There are options available to you now through December 7th that you didn't have before. At Medicare Choices of Saginaw, they can put together a program unique to you, even a no copay plan. That's right, no copay. Their hybrid Medicare plan helps you save at least half of a Medicare supplement plan with no premium increases each and every year. Talk to Medicare Choices. It'll be the best call you ever made. Call 989-89. Medicare Choices of Saginaw. Again, 989-899-7820.
Some politicians drive me nuts. It's like the rules just don't apply to them.
Uh-oh, what now?
It's that Kristen McDonald rivet.
Is she one of those politicians who just spends and spends, making inflation worse?
Yes, but it's even worse with rivet. She voted herself a pay raise on her taxpayer-funded salary.
Unbelievable.
And she was hiking her own pay while raising rates and fees for people like us.
We already can't pay our bills, and she's just making it worse. Only politicians like Kristen McDonald Rivet can get away with a scheme like.
Now she wants a promotion. She's running for state senate. Imagine what kind of damage she'd do if we send her to Lansing.
I'd never vote for a politician like Kristen McDonald Rivet.
Higher prices for us, higher salary for her. Say no to Kristen McDonald Rivet.
Paid for with regulated funds by the Senate Republican Campaign Committee. Authorized by Annette Glenn for state senate.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial.
You know what's in their best interest.
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Schrader's wide open down the far side and makes the catch. Touch.
After some close losses, the SVSU Cardinals got back in the win column with an impressive victory against Indianapolis. The Cardinals are on the road to battle Wayne State this Saturday evening at 5:30 on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. SVSU football is brought to you by Wayside Decorating Center, United Financial Credit Union, A-Plus Plumbing, Forward Energy, Mercantile Bank, and Jake and Nathan Neurosurgery.
Saginaw Valley State University football on WSGW.
All right, back with you here on WSGW. I've been asked about the proposals that I just read to you, how I'm going to vote. I'm not going to tell you that. I don't believe, this is my personal opinion, I don't believe in telling anybody how they should vote, or implying how they should vote by how I vote. You have to come to your own determination, which is why I suggest you download the proposals, why I suggest you study the candidates. I may not see them the way you see them. I may not interpret the proposals the way you interpret the proposals. Voting is a very personal right that we have in this country. That's why it's done in secret. Now, it's done in secret. Now, you're free to tell people how you vote. You can do that. You have the right to do that. I just don't believe it's sitting in this platform that I have the right to tell you how you should think about everything. From time to time, I offer opinions on things. Of course, it's an opinion show. But always remember that those are my opinions and only my opinions. We'll be back to close out the hour.
In these challenging economic times, we need a strategy to fix Michigan's economy. That's why Annette Glenn has a plan to improve the economic climate in the Saginaw Valley. Annette Glenn listened to our agriculture industry, small businesses, and families, and she created a plan that will cover and grow again, making life more affordable for everyone by opposing out-of-control big government spending to reduce inflation, cutting taxes to increase the buying power of farmers, families, and small businesses, and helping family farms stay in the family by reducing burdensome government regulations. Call Annette Glenn today at 517-373-1791. Thank Annette for working in the legislature to boost families, farmers, and other small businesses. By working together, we can make the Saginaw Valley a better place to raise a family and do business. Paid for by the Michigan Farm Bureau. Stone Farm Credit Services.
You want to be a showstopper like The Miz? You want to be awesome? Then you'll want to have a game plan. Whether you're a champion or a bettor, you've got to be responsible. The DraftKings Sportsbook offers all the tools you need. You can set a realistic budget and bet within your means. You can set time, deposit, and wager limits so you can have a personal game plan for having fun while being responsible. I practice safe bets, and so should you. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn about all these tools and more.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/responsible gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. Just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Talk Radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and include a 0.5% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more
It's Mark
information.
Lave and Camp and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're heading up toward the top of the hour, where we'll have news from CBS. Michael Perch will have the local report for you, bringing you up to date on the region and the state. And then we'll be back. We're going to start out talking to Shanti Appello from Blue Cross Blue Shield, Michigan, about National Pizza and Pasta Month. Can't wait to hear that. That'll be coming up right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
Washington, more Russian airstrikes hit residential areas in Kyiv today. An energy facility was also hit, and there's widespread power outages in multiple cities. CBS's Holly Williams reports as follows other deadly attacks using Iranian drones.
Kyiv's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, called Russia a terrorist state.
Killed a lot of people, civilians, unguilty people, and that's why it's terror attack.
Ukraine claims that Russia's ordered nearly 2,500 suicide drones from Iran. They reportedly cost around $20,000 each, a fraction of the price tag for a guided missile.
President Biden is heading to the Howard Theater in D.C. today, where he'll speak at an event hosted by the Democratic National Committee. The focus is on abortion and the choice voters face in the midterms. Mr. Biden says if Americans elect more Democratic senators to keep the House Democratic, the Congress will be to codify Roe into law. Things got heated at a debate in Ohio last night. Democrat Tim Ryan called out Republican J.D. Vance for supporting conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
It's maddening. This is a complete fabrication. I never
JD, you're
said
on
that,
tape,
Tim.
brother. You're on tape, man.
I never said that, Tim. Go and run the tape and find out exactly what I said.
It'll be like 30 minutes, and we're all going to know you're lying.
A very alarming study about diabetics rationing their insulin. Here's CBS's Naomi Ruckham.
An analysis of national health data found that 1.3 million people were conserving insulin, most by delaying buying the life-saving drug. The research showed that younger adults and those without insurance were most likely to ration.
The first 40 days on the job for Britain's a roller coaster.
Liz Truss insists she's still the right person for the top job, one day after her new finance minister axed those budget-busting tax cuts for the rich, which so unnerved markets and infuriated voters. Opposition lawmaker Rachel Reeves.
An arsonist is still an arsonist, even when they turn up with a bucket of water and run back into the burning building.
Truss, though, signaling she's staying put. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
If you're looking for something to read, a new Oprah Book Club selection was announced. Author Barbara Kinsolver was on CBS Mornings talking about Demon Copperhead.
It's a dark story and it's a hard story to tell. I wasn't sure readers would want to go follow me into that dark place. And so I spent actually a couple of years trying to tell the story.
Markets with a solid open on Wall Street today. This is CBS.
You need to hire? Indeed is with you every step of the way, helping you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar. Pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Because the challenges you face are getting bigger every year, BASF is committed to helping with more than boots on the ground. We're committed to boots in the mud, boots on the steps of your truck, your tractor, your combine, the linoleum tiles of your coffee shop, the concrete of your co-op. Shed. So we can listen, learn firsthand, help right now to ensure success. BASF, helping you do the biggest job on earth.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
It helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
and will give someone in my community
A second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 39 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Perchuk. A Clio woman has been reported missing. 38-year-old Alana Kazuz was last seen October 13th at 11:30 p.m. Police say she left her house to make a trip to a local gas station and disappeared. She did not take any personal belongings with her and has gone silent on social media, which police say is out of character for her. Kazuz was last seen wearing navy Under Armour hooded sweatshirt and driving a blue 2009 Chevy Malibu. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is urged to Sheriff's Department. The crash involving multiple vehicles in Isabella County on Monday morning left one man dead and another injured. Shortly after 7 a.m. on northbound US 127 near Broomfield Road in Union Township, Isabella County Sheriff's deputies responded to a car versus deer crash that turned deadly. While en route to the scene, deputies were informed two other vehicles had collided at the scene. When they arrived, they found a 33-year-old shepherd man had been struck after exiting his vehicle after hitting the deer. A 77-year-old Lansing woman who attempted to swerve to miss the man's vehicle struck him instead, pushing his vehicle into the lanes of the freeway fast lane, where it was struck again by a pickup truck driven by a 33-year-old St. Louis man. The shepherd man was pronounced dead at the scene, and the Lansing woman was transported to a local hospital for evaluation. The St. Louis man was uninjured. While sheriff's deputies were on the scene, one deputy's cruiser was struck when to slow down. A third crash happened after about a half mile south of the original crash when another vehicle failed to slow down for the traffic backup, causing another three-car collision. No one was injured in that crash as well. WSGW News Time 10:07.
You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumbing, heating, or cooling problem happen in your home or business? You need to be able to call a professional that you can rely on and trust to make the repair or equipment replacement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the professional homeowners and businesses trust for 65 years. Whether you're looking for an emergency water heater replacement or planning a new heating system installation, you can trust Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to provide quality service and installation. Reamer has the equipment to fit every budget, experienced estimators, and state licensed technicians to install. Trust a professional to do the job right. Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. 2 people were taken to the hospital after a pickup truck crashed into a home's gas line and it started a fire in Howard Township in southwest Michigan. The Cass County Sheriff's Department says a 33-year-old man driving the truck first hit the back of another vehicle before he went off the road and hit the side of the home and the gas line Monday morning, causing the house and the truck to catch fire. Both drivers were taken to the hospital, though the homeowner was not hurt. It isn't known at this time if drugs or alcohol were factors in the crash, which remains under investigation. As inflation continues to soar, officials at a lending website are advising people to avoid lending money to friends and family. Ted Rossman at creditcards.com finds nearly 3 in 5 people had a negative result when they helped out someone financially, either not getting the money back or ruining the relationship.
If you're thinking of lending money to family and friends, you need to be really careful because that can get you into trouble. It's like they say on the airline, put your oxygen mask on before helping others. I mean, I'd hate to see your relationship get hurt or your retirement savings get depleted or your emergency savings. I think if you're going to offer financial assistance, you can't lend more than you can afford to lose.
Rossman says younger people are more likely to not get paid back when they lend money. There are thousands of power outages in the Upper Peninsula as parts of the UP have been getting a lot of snow with strong winds. A winter storm warning is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight for Marquette and Barriga County in the north central UP. The National Weather Service in Marquette says Ironwood in western UP got a foot of snow on Monday, while Negaunee Township in the north central UP got 10 inches of snow, measured at up to 55 miles per hour. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. We'll see periods of rain showers here for today with cloudy sky conditions and a high into the mid-40s. Northwest winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. Then for tonight, a chance for rain showers, cloudy, a low near 36. Wednesday, a chance for rain, cloudy, high 44 degrees. Then by Thursday, another chance for rain showers here, mostly cloudy, a high around. Friday, sunshine, high of 60 degrees. Then by Saturday, we'll see plenty of blue skies and sun with a high around 65. On Sunday, sunshine, high of 70 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wsgw with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 40.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And good morning. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Later on in the hour, we'll have some more open phones for you, but we're beginning this hour. I can't wait, as a type 2 diabetic, to hear how Shanti Appello, a registered dietitian with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, during National Pizza and Pasta Month, is going to tell me how to make them healthy. Good morning, Shanti. Oop, I don't hear you. Is your mic on? I don't hear you. Make sure your mic is on.
There we are.
There we go.
Well, thanks for the introduction. Yeah, I could definitely see how it can be a little bit confusing how we can make pizza and pasta healthy. So, well, it's a good month, right?
Yeah, well, for those that don't know, it is National Pizza Month and National Pasta Month in the same month. October 6th was National Noodle Day. Gee, I missed that. That's one of my favorite things. October 25th is World Pasta Day. And here we are talking to a registered dietitian about pizza and pasta. Not on the top of your list of healthy things, is it?
Definitely not. And there are a few things that you can definitely do to make them healthier. I'm of the mindset of when you restrict your favorite foods, you're more likely to overdo them. So I think it's so important that if you love pizza and you love pasta, that you don't let yourself go completely without them. But of course, we got to keep the serving sizes in mind, especially with diabetes. We're thinking of, balancing blood sugars. We're thinking of people also with heart conditions, with blood pressure issues, and all the sodium that exists in all of them. So we can dig into it.
All right, let's start with some questions about pizza. We'll straight on pizza first. For example, in our house, when we get pizza, and it's not all that often, but we do get it, we get thin crust, almost like a cracker crust.
Yeah.
Is that better for us or not? Or does it not make any difference?
Well, it all goes down to the nutrition facts, but what I will tell you is that more often than not, it is going to have fewer carbohydrates because the thinner your crust is, oftentimes, there's going to be less, if you will, bread. But sometimes there's like a puff factor to some of those pizza crusts too. So generally, they're going to be crispy and lower in carbs. And actually, that's why I love to make homemade pizza on tortilla crusts. It is one of the easiest ways to make a quick meal with actually some really healthy ingredients. So the way I get it crispy is I spray it with a little bit of spray oil. You can do your canola, you can do your favorite olive oil spray, whatever it is. Throw it into the oven at 375 for about 10 minutes. Then you take it out. It's going to have crisped up a little bit, and then you can put your toppings on and throw it back in there. So when you cut into it with your pizza cutter, it's going to offer that little crunch sound.
Wow, that's interesting. That is interesting. I mean, but the downside, I have to tell you, the downside of that thin crust pizza is I find myself eating more than I would with a regular slice, you know.
Exactly.
I'm from New York City originally. I was born and raised in New York, where for us, street pizza was that big triangle piece you folded in half. You walk down the street munching on it. And that probably was more calories in that one bite than you would normally take in a day. But that's the way I grew up with pizza. But I've moved away from that, and I now enjoy the thin crust a lot more. And typically on my pizza, I like ham and pineapple. Most people go, what? But
I'm a pineapple girl now on
there you
pizza.
go. All right.
We don't have to get into that argument today.
So, you know, if I get a thin crust pizza, it's going to have a certain amount of cheese on it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have ham and pineapple. What does that do for me?
So when it comes to pizza, one of the reasons that it's one of the most highest sodium foods in the American diet is because it's a multi-component food. It's like the multi-ingredient. First of all, your crust is going to have sodium, your cheese is going to have sodium, your sauce is going to have it, and so will your toppings. So, you know, when I'm hearing ham, what I'm thinking of is those cured toppings that often come on top of pizza. So some people, you know, like ham, some people like pepperoni, prosciutto. There are so many different kinds that you can put on there. I'm a salami girl myself. So all of those cured meats are going to be extremely high in sodium. So you want to consider how much you're putting on there, especially if you're making it yourself, or just limit yourself to a couple of slices, one or two, if you're consuming it from a restaurant. I will say, generally, restaurant pizzas are going to have a little bit more sodium than frozen pizzas do. In fact, if you look at one of the leading delivery chains of pizza, a single pizza might have about 6,500 milligrams of sodium. That's
the whole pizza.
The whole pizza. So that's 835 milligrams a slice.
Wow.
Now, when we think about the average American diet, we want to not have more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day. So if you're thinking of having one slice, that takes up, you know, about a third of that recommendation. And then, you know, more realistically, we have about 3,400 milligrams. But it is important because so many people in the United States are dealing with blood pressure issues.
All right. So you take your tortilla and your crust.
Yes, actually, I keep this in my freezer at all times in case I need one of those like super quick dinners and we don't have anything in the house. It's a good one. Yeah.
So what do you use for cheese?
So first of all, I'm sorry, because I'm thinking of this in the steps of making it, I'm going to mention the pizza sauce. And oftentimes I just make a really simple sauce with some chopped garlic, a little bit of olive oil, get it fragrant in the pan, add some cherry tomatoes, smash them in there, and let it simmer down. And that's a really good sauce.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, very basic.
And pretty salted.
I do put a little bit of salt in, but of course it's salt to taste. And what's important to recognize here is that sodium that you find in packaged ingredients they're often gonna have more salt than what we add from the shaker. So you can also use a pasta sauce for this. And when you're looking at a pasta sauce, especially when you're picking it out for a pizza, you want to look for something that has 400 milligrams or less of sodium per serving. You also want to look for something that doesn't have any added sugar or just up to 2 grams of added sugar. So those are two good things to look for. Of course, making your own is obviously going to be a little bit healthier. You might get a little bit more fiber in there from the tomatoes and all that. And then, for the cheese, I like to do a low-fat mozzarella. It doesn't melt as well as your average mozzarella will because the more fat that it has in it, the easier it's going to melt. But you can kind of mess around and see if you can find a good balance. Maybe you do a little bit of half and half.
I mean, realistically, fat is not the enemy here, is it?
Fat definitely adds quite a bit of calories. And the reason I say that is because when you look at gram to gram of protein to carb to fat, 1 gram of carbohydrates is going to have 4 calories, same as protein, but fat actually has 9 calories per gram. So the reason I'm mentioning that is that it adds up quickly. So with pizza, we just don't want to overdo the cheese, but it's definitely okay to have cheese.
Okay, so now we go to toppings.
Yes.
We know you're going to put pineapple down.
Well, of course. So, this is a great opportunity to add these non-sodium ingredients. If you're making this with your kids at home, it's such a great opportunity for them to get involved and maybe pick the vegetables that you want on the pizza. So I love to do mushrooms, bell peppers, tomatoes. Arugula is great to put on there once it's come out of the oven. Olives, banana peppers. There's so many great things that are lower in sodium than those, toppings that are coming from meat.
I haven't heard your salami or my pepperoni or ham or
Salami for me is a once in a while ingredient. And I'm not saying that so much for the sodium and fat content. I'm thinking more of we've seen so much in research lately that these ultra processed meats have been linked to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. And so, over consuming these, the less of these cured meats you consume, the lower your risk is going to be. It's kind of dose dependent in that way. So that's one of the reasons I choose to go with more of the vegetable route.
I'm a salami fan, but I like soft beef salami. I grew up on kosher salami, so that's what I get. We come down to Detroit pretty regularly, and I go stock up and bring it home, freeze it,
yeah,
and use it when I want it. All right, hang on. I got to take a break. We're talking to Shanti Appello, registered dietitian and health and wellness expert for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. Time for the National Partisan Nonsense of the Week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob Hilliker for Bay County.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you,
schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens Find Direct's coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street's off to a strong start ahead of more expected earnings reports and an easing of turmoil in markets in the UK. Goldman Sachs is reporting a 43% drop in profits in the third quarter. Revenue for the investment banker falling 57% from a year ago. Earnings for the bank were $3.7 billion. That's down from $5.38 billion last year. Goldman Sachs also announcing a major reshuffling of its entire organization. Despite higher sales for the third quarter, Johnson & Johnson is lowering guidance due to the continuing impact of the run-up in the dollar relative to other currencies around the globe. The New Jersey-based healthcare company posting a quarterly profit of $4.6 billion, or $1.68 per share. That's up from $3.67 billion, or $1.37 per share 1 year ago. That's your Fox Business Report.
Small business ready for holiday mailing and shipping? Get ahead of the chaos with Stamps.com. the 24/7 post office you can access anywhere. You'll get major discounts on USPS and UPS rates, and it's easy to compare carriers and rates for the best deals. Sign up at Stamps.com with promo code BUSINESS for a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, promo code BUSINESS.
In these challenging economic times, we need a strategy to fix Michigan's economy. That's why to improve the economic climate in the Saginaw Valley. Annette Glenn listened to our agriculture industry, small businesses, and families, and she created a plan that will help our communities recover and grow again, making life more affordable for everyone by opposing out-of-control big government spending to reduce inflation, cutting taxes to increase the buying power of farmers, families, and small businesses, and helping family farms stay in the family by reducing burdensome government regulations. Call Annette Glenn today at 517-373-1791. Thank Annette for working in the legislature to boost families, farmers, and other small businesses. By working together, we can make the Saginaw Valley a better place to raise a family and do business. Paid for by the Michigan Farm Bureau Family of Companies and Greenstone Farm Credit Services.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all sports and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSW online poll is about statewide ballot proposal 1 with election day coming Tuesday, November 8th. So statewide proposal 1 basically requiring the office holders to file the annual financial disclosures, plus replace current term limits for state reps and senators with a 12-year total in any combination between House and Senate. The proposal will officially read this way on your ballot. A proposal to amend the state constitution to require annual public financial disclosure reports by legislators and other state officers and change state legislator term limit to 12-year total years in legislature. The poll question, should proposal 1 be adopted? Yes or no? Head to WSW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and make your vote that way.
Michigan is rated as one of the worst in terms of financial disclosures.
Yeah. Somebody wanted radio people to be included in that, but they left it out. So.
Oh, thanks.
That's because we have no finances.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
And we're back with you here on WSGW, talking to Shanti Appello. She is a registered dietitian and a health and wellness expert at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and she is attempting to make pasta healthy. All right, we trashed pizza enough. It's time to move on to National Pasta Month.
Yeah.
Pasta is one of those things. I don't care whether you're a type 2 diabetic or you have no diabetes or you're healthy or whatever. Pasta is one of those addictive foods. You eat pasta, you just want to eat more pasta. What can we do to counter that?
Well, I think one of the things to consider is if we're dining out and ordering pasta, oftentimes we're going to get bigger portions than oftentimes we need, or in bigger portions than what's gonna make us full. So considering that, serving sizes are definitely based on individual needs. And so just being conscious of the fact that someone with diabetes, for example, a third of a cup of pasta is considered that one serving of carbohydrates. Yeah, a third of a cup of pasta. So that means that that's one carbohydrate serving, which is about 15 grams of carbs. So, if you're typically like a 3 to 4 carb serving person, a cup of pasta might just be perfect. So it's about considering what else you can put on there and picking healthy sauces. Oftentimes when you're considering restaurants, I'm not going to blame them for this, but pasta is cheaper to offer up than the protein or those, more expensive sauces. So to make customers happy, we're going to want to load up on bigger servings of that white stuff. So something to consider when you're making it at home. I'd love to recommend that you keep serving sizes and Try to eat slowly with mindfulness. The more enjoyment we're going to get out of that pasta, the better we're going to feel after, and the less likely we're going to go, want to go back for seconds and overdo it, right?
All right, let me tell you what I've made in the past and get your opinion of it.
Sure.
I like seafood ravioli.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I'll have either a shrimp and crab, shrimp and lobster filling of some kind. I make my pasta at home using a roller machine and all of that, but I don't put salt in it. So I use flour, water, egg. I once in a while, I'll use semolina in there.
Nice.
So I make my pasta. I make my fillings, and I make my raviolis, and I boil them. A little bit of salted water. And then I make a lobster cream sauce.
Mm-hmm. That does sound delicious, though. When can we come over?
Anytime. It is good.
Yes.
I do enjoy it. I must admit, I enjoy it. Is it healthy? I don't know. I mean, I don't eat, 15 of them.
Right.
I have a reasonable serving of pasta. So
Absolutely.
that's what I like.
Yeah. And, it goes back to that conversation that we had in the very beginning that, if you restrict yourself of your favorite foods too often, then you're more likely to overdo it. So if you get to have your favorite pasta here once in a while, it's much more likely that you're not going to overdo it. So I'm a fan of that. I'm personally, I mentioned that sauce I made for my pizza. That's also what I make for my go-to pasta. But we can definitely talk a little bit more about the different pastas that are out there, because I think that is something that can confuse people a little bit. We see the veggie pastas, we see the veggie spirals, we see tofu pasta, we see bean pasta. So what are these all about, right?
I don't know, but I only see them. I don't eat them.
Yes. Well, we can start out with that first one. And if you've ever seen, this pasta has vegetables in it, it's green, oftentimes you're not going to reap the benefits of the vegetables. They might have colored, or it has some natural color in that pasta where it says 100 grams of, or 100% of your vegetables or whatever. You're not going to get the fiber. You're not going to get a lot of those antioxidants and the important nutrients. So if you love another pasta more, I would go for that. Now, bean-based pastas, these are coming out a lot more. You see like red lentils, you see chickpea pasta. That's one that I've tried a few times. And the key to these is that they are actually higher in protein because, beans are a rich source of protein, but they're often going to be equal in the amount of carbohydrates. Now, for someone with diabetes, it could be a better choice because it does have more fiber. So as we know, when you're absorbing when you're breaking down carbohydrates and using that for energy, fiber digestion is actually slower, so it doesn't hit your blood sugar as fast. So for someone with type 2 diabetes, chickpea pasta could be a good option. But when it comes down to it, I think people should choose what tastes the best to them.
So how do you choose what tastes the best to you?
Well,
which may be the best for you.
Yeah.
Then counteract it.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that last question again?
And how do you counteract that? You eat what you like and what
Mhm.
tastes great, which may not be the best for you. Is there anything else you can eat to counteract it?
Yeah, so your sauce and your toppings are going to be huge indicators of whether this meal is healthy or not. So picking a healthy sauce is definitely a go-to. Actually, on a healthiermichigan.org right now, I just put up a new recipe that's very seasonal, and it is a butternut squash pasta sauce. Now, what's great about this recipe is that the butternut squash actually acts as a creamy ingredient, because oftentimes when we're eating pasta, it's going to be loaded in cream, it's going to be loaded in cheese. And instead, this one, we roast the butternut squash with some olive oil and herbs. So I would like sage and thyme for this time of the year, especially with that butternut squash. It tastes so good. And then you put it into a blender with a little bit of ricotta. You can do low-fat ricotta, and it turns out like a beautiful mixture that is just so creamy.
It's almost along the lines of people that make cauliflower mashed potatoes
Yeah.
as a substitute, right?
A little bit, yeah. And actually, I'm a big fan of cauliflower mashed potatoes. They actually can taste so good if you do it right.
Period. I can't call them potatoes. That's why I love these people that have, the fake meat names. Well, no, it's not meat. Don't call it meat.
Yeah. Yeah. Imitation.
Imitation, whatever. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. So anyway, during National Pizza and Pasta Month, as we've learned from Shanti, there are good ways to eat it and there's not so good ways to eat it. And that's true of most anything, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that if you're eating it more on a regular basis, it is important to note what else you're putting in there. I am a proponent of using measuring spoons and measuring cups, especially if you are trying to manage diabetes and not overdo it. With those carb servings and with things that add up quickly in calories, because oftentimes we're going to be putting cheese on both pasta and pizza. And so just being mindful of how much we're doing.
All right. Again, tell everybody the website where they can get more information.
Yes, ahealthiermichigan.org. And so I mentioned that pasta recipe, but we also have a blog dedicated to pizzas at home and different ways that you can make that tortilla pizza in an easy way. We have a buffalo chicken one that doesn't use deli meat. Instead, you can make it with rotisserie chicken or chicken that you've grilled at home, toss it in some buffalo sauce. And of course, we've got pineapple on there, Art.
Of course.
We also have a veggie lovers pizza and then an Italian-inspired one on a tortilla crust as well.
Oh, Shanti, it's always fun. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Art.
All right. Have a good one.
You
Bye-bye
too.
now. Shanti Appello, she is a registered dietitian and health and wellness expert with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. And we will be back open phones for the remainder of the hour.
This is Kevin from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are Mid-Michigan's premier CPL Academy. Our instructors teach the fundamental friendly environment using state-of-the-art video simulation tools and a live fire range to help you build self-defense skills and learn proper technique. Visit our website, simu-range.com, simu-range.com to book your training session today. Use code RADIO25 to save $25. Applied Training Solutions, forward thinking, on target training.
Virginia, Kansas, Berkeley, Ventura, San Francisco, San Diego, Oakland, and Grand Junction, Little Rock, Springfield, Maryland, and Washington. Paul Young has been everywhere, man. But he hasn't spent a lot of time in Michigan. Paul Young, for nearly 40 years, living in California and all around the country for decades. Now he's spending over $1 million of his fortune to buy a congressional seat here in mid-Michigan. Paul Young has an agenda in Congress, and it's not ours. Young's agenda would give tax breaks to millionaires like himself while raising taxes on the middle class and putting Medicare and Social Security at risk. And Young is on the side of wealthy drug companies against lower prescription prices for families and seniors. Paul Young is not from here, and he's definitely not for us. Paid for by House Majority PAC, theHouseMajorityPAC.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. House content of this advertising.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you, always.
I just had a conversation with a member who lives near Traverse City. Mildred has been a member with Wildfire in some way, shape, or form for over 50 years. Wildfire is her preferred financial institution. Same for her daughter who lives in Connecticut. Neither one of them has ever stepped foot in any of the Wildfire branches. Yet they both receive a level of service to rave about. It just goes to show you that it doesn't matter where you live, Wildfire is here for you.
Being the trusted resource for your finances, delivering marvelous experiences no matter where you are. That's Wildfire Credit Union. Every day. Find out for yourself. Call 800-227-2328. Click on wildfirecu.org or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you, always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, listener, welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it!
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. That's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Smith & Wesson is committed to empowering Americans no matter what. With inflation hitting everywhere, we've decided to make a change. Now, you can buy a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, our most popular concealed carry firearm, at an all-new low price, $100 off MSRP. We're absorbing the costs and passing along the savings to you so you don't have to compromise on personal security. Visit smithandwesson.com to find a Shield Plus near you. Smith. Expect the best.
Can I get the sales projections for the Springfield, Bristol, and Fairview stores?
Val's Froyo Palace is dishing out 3 more locations.
Jody, have you lined up interviews?
They need 3 new store managers before they have a meltdown.
And remember, they need at least 5 years experience.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. Our thanks to Shanthi Appello from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan for being with us today, and we'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour. Carl is in Saginaw. Carl, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
I'd like that idea of using a tortilla shell.
I do too.
As the base of your pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because we usually have those in the fridge anyway. So I'm going to try that. Last week, the January 6th committee had their last open hearing talking about the insurrection. And I know in the past you said you thought it was all political or mostly political, and that it was one-sided. I don't know. I've watched some of the hearings and seen some of the recaps of it. I think it's a lot more than just political. I think a very serious attempt was tried to overthrow our government, and they had fake electors lined up. The things that they tried to do. And Trump knew that the stolen.
Well,
yet he raised money on this. He continues to say it till today.
I understand that, but let me ask you a question. In America, if you're accused of something, you have a right to a defense. Where was the defense? Who did they allow to defend the president? Who did they allow?
Witnesses were Republicans, Art.
I didn't ask you that.
A lot of Republicans refused to testify or claimed the Fifth Amendment or claimed executive.
Yeah, because they didn't want to be a part of the circus. But let me ask. Let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning, Carl. When the committee was appointed, who did Pelosi let on the committee that was pro-Trump?
The Republicans refused.
I didn't. No. There were Republicans that wanted to join, and she canceled them out. The Jordans of the world, she would not allow them on the committee. There were a number of Republicans she dumped.
That's not the way it happened.
That is the way it happened.
No, I don't think so.
She did not allow them on the committee. She only picked 2 Republicans who had voted to impeach.
All the Trump supporters who could have testified under oath for Trump refused to do it.
Not all. That's, well, all right.
There were like 30 different witnesses that refused to testify for Trump. So you can't say that they didn't have a chance to.
You can go back to the beginning. You can go back to the beginning and see the way that the committee was formulated by Pelosi. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here defending Trump. I'm just defending a process which I think needs to be more fair. Politics has become politics has become unfair on both sides. Let's accept that. And what we would consider to be normal processes, somehow Washington politicians don't think they have to follow them. And this has been historic. They even exempt themselves from the laws many times. So I just
okay, but Art, this is a hearing. This is not a trial.
well, yeah, I understand that.
Hearing.
But what was the
So
purpose of the hearing?
Are different.
Well, given the purpose,
I think this is the more serious crime, January 6th. But I think Trump is going to be charged for the Mar-a-Lago document.
I don't know.
I think they're going to charge him for that.
I'm not sure about that. And I'll tell you why. Whether it was Trump or any other president, it is very difficult. It is very difficult to indict and charge a former president. It is not an easy task.
Well,
and I understand the concept
really.
that no, really. That's why it hasn't happened yet. That's exactly why it hasn't happened yet.
Art, I'll bet you a nickel. After the midterms, Trump will be indicted.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens in Congress.
And maybe in more than one place. It could be in New York. It could be in Georgia.
Now let me ask you a question.
Washington.
Yeah, let me ask you a question about New York. Do you think that attorney general is neutral? She ran on a platform before Trump was even president, mind you. She ran on a platform of getting Trump. That was her platform she ran on. Is that what you expect out of an attorney general?
Attorney general.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you about the New York attorney. I asked you about the New York attorney general.
They all are. They all are political.
All right, I'll grant you
That's
that.
part of the job.
I'll grant you that. But should you run on a platform? Should you run on a platform of getting somebody? Is that your idea of a neutral?
They run on the platform of going after this mob boss or going after this corrupt politician. They do that every day.
Yeah, well, I think she exceeded it.
Well, but then they found like 500 cases of fraud that Trump, is being accused of, and they're referring it, as a criminal case.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I think there's a lot there, Art.
Well, listen.
Not just
the old adage is where there's smoke, there's fire. I understand that, but I still say it's difficult to indict a former president, and it will be interesting to see what happens.
Well, I'll bet you a nickel.
I'll tell you what. If Trump were to announce today that he no longer has any interest in running for the presidency, and all of a sudden he shuts up and we don't hear from him and he just goes away, all this other stuff will go away too. Their greatest fear is he runs again.
I wouldn't believe. Would you believe anything that Trump said?
If he says he's not going to run, I have to take him at his word.
Well, but
why would I take him why would I take him less of his word than I would if Biden said he's not going to run again?
Well, because Trump lies all the time.
Okay. All right, Carl. Hey, listen, buddy. I appreciate the call as always. It's fun chatting with you. All right, my friend.
Trump could testify. He could testify if he wanted.
He could if he wanted.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
He could. Then
we'll see if he does.
He will with his ego. With his ego, maybe he will.
He will, and they probably won't like what he says.
Because he can't stand being out of the news.
Well, I think you're right there. I will agree with you. He likes being on the top of the fold in the newspaper, no doubt about it. All right. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Art.
Take care, Carl. Bye-bye now. We'll be back with more after these notes.
Fall might mean cooler weather, but at the Maytag store, it means hot appliance. Or oven need an upgrade before the holidays? Well, the Maytag store has the deals you need in stock today. Come in and talk to their knowledgeable sales staff and find the appliance of your dreams and budget. They have all the brands you want, including Maytag, GE, Speed Queen, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and more. Plus, a huge selection of in-stock appliances on sale and ready to go. Let the Maytag store handle the hassle of delivering, installing, and hauling away your old appliance. And did you know the Maytag store has their own in-house parts and service departments to? Call today to schedule your repair. Baking season is just around the corner, so make sure you have what you need for a delicious holiday season by visiting the Maytag store in Saginaw, Frankenmuth, or the outlet store in Shields for those scratch and dent deals. Or you can shop online at the MaytagStoreUSA.com. Experience the Maytag store difference today.
The Maytag Store.
Punch out breast cancer at Saguenay Eagles Landing. You can win big and help us support breast cancer awareness every Saturday in October. Drawings are 5 to 9 p.m. each week, and you can win up to $5,000 cash. And at the end of the month, we're donating $10,000 to help the fight. It's all at Saguenay Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit Saguenay-EaglesLanding.com for complete rules and details.
It's time to play the WSGW Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Roofmax. Right now you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $2,000 by entering this football word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is show, S-H-O-W. During the Super Bowl, there's a big halftime show, S-H-O-W. An Alpha Media company-wide contest must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. The Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Roofmax on WSGW.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I did.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, first computer, a warm place on a cold day. Football stadium. I want to be a bike that races around the country. I want to be a bench on a forest trail. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum. That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest, cleaning up the air we breathe. I didn't know the trees were so amazing. Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb. That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the midden.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
All right, let's get back to our phones. And Al is in Midland. Al, good morning to you.
Good morning, Arthur. I've been doing some recycling on my Keurig cartridges.
Oh, really?
It's early morning to do it, but I clean them out and compost the insides. And anyhow, a couple of things. You know, when you're talking with Carl there, I keep going back to there was a book that Glenn Beck had argued. I feel like I've been at the Arguing with Idiots symposium, and you were arguing with an idiot. He just went around.
All right, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there, Al. Al, I'm going to stop you from name calling. He's not an idiot. Right. I know him. He's got his personal views, but he's not an idiot. He's a very nice man. I may disagree with him politically. That doesn't make him an idiot.
No, but
no, period.
That's what I see. That's what I hear.
Well,
when he talks, that's what I hear.
That's because you disagree with him. He probably, people look at you the same way.
Okay, but I can't help it that he doesn't sound smart when he.
Well, he is smart.
Down a path where he can't defend himself.
Well, that's as you view it. As you view it.
Okay, but he couldn't defend his view on that. Also, I want my condolences to the Zender family.
Bronner family. Bronner family.
Oh, the Bronner family.
Irene Bronner.
Okay, Bronner. Okay, my condolences to the Bronner folks. Then,
yep.
I'm sorry, very sorry to hear about that. I got the name
she was a wonderful, wonderful lady, 95 years old. Irene Bronner passed away.
Wow.
And it's a great family, and she will be missed. She was the matriarch of the family.
Yeah, it's easier for me to get those names mixed up because Frankenmuth, and when I'm thinking Frankenmuth, I think of Zender.
It must be first name that comes to mind.
That's how I get them mixed up.
Yeah, I understand that.
So my condolences. And
all right.
You have a nice morning there, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Al. Take care.
Bye now.
Bye now. All right. Yeah, look, I'm not real big on assigning names to people that are derogatory. Just because you disagree with somebody doesn't make them an idiot or stupid or anything else. It just means you disagree with them. You don't see things the same way they do. And guess what? Your view or my view is not the only view. Others have an entirely different perspective on life and on politics and on the issues of the day. That's why we discuss them. You're welcome to call with your opinions, whether they agree or disagree. But guys like Carl, I've known Carl a long time, personally. And, while we may disagree politically, I could have lunch with him any day of the week because I like him personally. I may disagree with him. Doesn't make him right or wrong. It just means he sees things differently than I do or that you do. And we've gotten away from that in this country. It's too bad. It's too bad we can't see those we disagree with as just that. People we have different opinions with, but it doesn't color our view of the person. We've lost a lot of what I call respect for each other in this country. It's too bad. Back to close out the hour after these notes.
Some politicians drive me nuts. It's like the rules just don't apply to them.
Uh-oh, what now?
It's that Kristen McDonald rivet.
Is she one of those politicians who just spends and spends, making inflation worse?
Yes, but it's even worse with herself a pay raise on her taxpayer-funded salary.
Unbelievable.
And she was hiking her own pay while raising rates and fees for people like us.
We already can't pay our bills, and she's just making it worse. Only politicians like Kristen McDonald Rivet can get away with a scheme like that.
Worst part is, now she wants a promotion. She's running for state senate. Imagine what kind of damage she'd do if we send her to Lansing.
I'd never vote for a politician like Kristen McDonald Rivet.
Higher prices for us, higher salary for her. Say no to Kristen McDonald Rivet.
Paid for with regulated funds by the Senate Republican Campaign Committee, authorized by an
In his last will and testament, Robert has bequeathed to his only heir and devoted caretaker 1/3 of his house, 1/3 of his truck, and 1/3 of his beloved dog, Mr. Bo here.
Excuse me, I'm a little confused.
Don't settle for a fraction of what you deserve, especially at harvest. Yield your best with Veltima fungicide's proven plant health benefits and revolutionary application flexibility.
1/3 of a dog. Right.
Get everything you deserve with Veltima fungicide from BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
God, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooh.
Is that meditation?
I'm recommending Uma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
All right, that pretty much will do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. News coming up at the top of the hour from CBS, bringing you up to date on the world and the nation. Michael Perch will be along to help you out with news in the region and the state. And then we'll be back with Focus today on Focus. We'll take you to downtown Saginaw and the SVRC Marketplace with Rochelle. All of that coming up right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Biden is promising to put the abortion issue front and center if things go Democrats' way in next month's midterm elections. White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
As he speaks to a Democratic crowd here in Washington, D.C., the president is expected to announce that the first bill he'll send to Capitol Hill next year, if his party holds control of both houses, would be a measure codifying abortion rights. His goal would be to sign it, the Roe decision, in late January. Democrats have had control of the House and Senate since Mr. Biden took office, but there has not been enough support within his own party to abolish the filibuster to advance an abortion rights bill in the Senate.
It's beginning to feel a lot like winter. CBS's Jim Krasula says that's problematic for many.
Nearly 80 million Americans from Colorado to the East Coast could see record cold this week. That includes eastern Kentucky, where many people affected by deadly flooding 3 months ago are in homes without heat. Jeff Noble is judge executive of hard-hit Breathitt County.
I just hate the thought that somebody's in a home that ain't got any kind of heat, and, it's just tough to handle.
The usually cool Pacific Northwest is seeing unusual warmth.
New Russian airstrikes have knocked out power in thousands of Ukrainians. Correspondent Holly Williams says Russia's latest weapon of choice could be a game changer.
Many of Ukraine's cities, including Kyiv, had been relatively calm for months. But Russia's use of suicide drones, small and cheap, could have a significant impact on the course of this war.
President Zelensky says almost a third of Ukraine's power stations have been destroyed in the past week. New research finds chemical processing that makes your hair smooth and curl-free could be dangerous to a woman's health. Here's CBS's Vicki Barker.
The study suggests women who use hair straightening products are more than 2.5 times more likely to develop uterine cancer. Hair straighteners contain so-called endocrine disrupting chemicals, which have been linked to a raised risk of breast and ovarian cancer.
Book lovers, Oprah has shared her latest favorite with Demon Copperfield by Barbara Kingsolver, a modern retelling of David Copperfield. Kingsolver tells CBS she was inspired after she and her husband booked a room in Charles Dickens' former home on the ocean in Britain.
We had it all to ourselves, and they said, sure, make use of the place, sit wherever you want, including Dickens' study.
The book tells the story of a red-headed boy born to a teenaged mother in southern Appalachia in the late 1990s amid the opioid crisis. Dow's doing gangbusters again, up 418 right now. S&P ahead 50. This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner, you can save a ton of money on a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 888-74-STEEL and get a quote today.
Virginia, Kansas, Berkeley, Ventura, San Francisco, San Diego, Oakland, and Grand Junction, Little Rock, Springfield, Maryland, and Washington. Paul Young has been everywhere, man. Spent a lot of time in Michigan. Paul Young has been away from Michigan for nearly 40 years, living in California and all around the country for decades. Now he's spending over $1 million of his fortune to buy a congressional seat here in mid-Michigan. Paul Young has an agenda in Congress, and it's not ours. Young's agenda would give tax breaks to millionaires like himself while raising taxes on the middle class and putting Medicare and Social Security at risk. And Young is on the side of wealthy drug companies against lower prescription prices for families and seniors. Paul Young is not from here, and he's definitely not for us. Paid for by House Majority PAC, theHouseMajorityPAC.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
My name is Dale Pazinski, and this is how I live United. I volunteer with United Way, helping the homeless in my community by teaching computer skills and helping them build a basic resume to save on their very own USB drive. It's huge. That job that you helped me apply for, I got it. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Ladies, degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Burchell. Bay City police officers and firefighters were recognized at last night's City Commission meeting. The Public Safety Awards were given to members of the department for their work in 2021. Corporal Paul Cairns, the first K-9 handler in Bay City, was awarded Officer of the Year. He credits the award to his partner, K-9 Loki. Lieutenant Matthew Schwab was recognized as Firefighter of the Year, and Officer Scott Close was given multiple citations. Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist was in Bay County yesterday to participate in a roundtable discussion on the state's investment in education. While touring Lincoln Elementary in Bangor Township, Gilchrist highlighted the My Kids Back on Track program, designed to continue addressing unfinished learning with tutoring or other forms of personalized instruction before, during, or after school. The state has received $50 million in. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is calling on the state legislature to invest an additional $230 million earmarked for it in the state budget. Lane closures on the Zilwaukee Bridge could impact traffic this week. The Michigan Department of Transportation has planned a scheduled inspection. The bridge inspection is part of routine maintenance. The right lane of the southbound side of the bridge across the Saginaw River will be closed from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., depending on weather. MDOT urges drivers to slow down in those construction zones. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Do you have Medicare questions? Confused by all those TV ads? You now through December 7th that you didn't have before. At Medicare Choices of Saginaw, they work with all the major companies in the state. Dental, vision, hearing aids, transportation, free meals, no charge over-the-counter drug purchases, plans as low as no cost. Talk to Medicare Choices. It'll be the best call you ever made. For your no-fee service, call 989-899-7820. Medicare Choices of Saginaw. Again, 989-899-7820.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granular, brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. A 22-year-old Illinois man, DeJuan Johnson, has been arraigned in connection with a fatal crash when he was allegedly driving drunk in a semi and hit a Lance gas station in the UP. He hit the gas pumps, starting a fire, and Al Dantes Jr. was killed as he was getting gas. Johnson has been charged with operating while intoxicated, causing death. He stood mute at his arraignment. He's been released on a $100,000 bond. Free Press Marathon organizers are promising to crack down on doping after controversy over this year's winner in the women's race. Mary Beasley has been banned for 2 years for doping in 2013 under a different name. Marathon Vice President Aaron Velthoven says there's no doping policy right now for the race, so the winner will stand. Next year will be different with a comprehensive anti-doping policy. We're seeing a lot of new electric vehicle investments in the United States. Does that have anything to do with new rules that tie EV tax credits? Jeff Gilbert explains.
We've heard a lot of big announcements of U.S. battery plants since a new law, part of the Inflation Reduction Act, or IRA, passed with Build American rules when it comes to credits for EV buyers. Guidehouse Insights analyst Sam Abul-Samad says it's only one of many factors.
I think to the degree that the IRA is having an impact, it is to perhaps speed up some of the plans.
Abul-Samad, however, says many investments were announced before anybody knew what shape EV tax credits would take. Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
A record-breaking knocked in Detroit this year. That's according to Detroit and Wayne County Executive Director Mark Schrupp. He says the passengers spend the day in Detroit before getting back onto the ship for dinners. He claims they have added $125 million to the Great Lakes economy this year. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. We'll see periods of rain showers here for today with cloudy sky conditions and a high into the mid-40s. Northwest winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, a chance for rain showers, cloudy, a low near 36. Wednesday, a chance for rain, cloudy, high 44 degrees. Then by Thursday, another chance for rain showers here, mostly cloudy, a high around 50. Friday, sunshine, high of 60 degrees. Then by Saturday, we'll see plenty of blue skies and sun with a high around 65. On Sunday, sunshine, high of 70 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wsgw with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 39.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And welcome back to Focus here on WSGW, brought to you by RoofMax. Safe, proven, easy, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out more online at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax, and remember it's spelled with 2 X's. And today we take you to downtown Saginaw to the SVRC Marketplace, and we say good morning to the market manager, Rachel Trumbull. Rachel, good morning. Rachel, where are you?
Good morning, Art.
There you are. I panicked there for a minute. Thought I lost you. Anyway.
Oh, no, I'm here.
So let's before we look at what's happening in the marketplace. How has this season been? How would you rate the year for the marketplace?
I would say, post-COVID, because that does still hinder us.
Yep.
I would say that it was pretty good. I would say that it felt really good to have our community events again, which people were showing up. Of course, having our downtown Saginaw Farmers Market underneath our pavilion for their season really, really helped with the traffic flow for us as well. And it seems like it definitely is picking up, and it seems like people are wanting to get out and do more things and not necessarily as cautious. So we're very thankful for that.
All right, so Marketplace is a Wednesday through Saturday marketplace. Let's talk about food. I always like to start with food because you have so much of it in there. Tell us a little bit about the food purveyors that are there.
Yeah, so we have, we're proud to have one of the markets in the Great Lakes Bay region that offers something called global flavors. So when we talk about global flavors, we talk about different ethnicities and, you know, bringing the opportunity for people to try certain foods that maybe they never would try if they, you know, were traveling, all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, we have somebody like Falafel Hut who offers. And we also have Saigon Sandwich, who offers Vietnamese food. We have El Falito that has Mexican food. We have Creole Queens that offers, you know, from Louisiana, her homemade and, you know, special recipes. So, you know, we are really proud to have that showcase inside of our marketplace. We also have American favorites, of course. We can't forget, you know, Making Bacon, Honey's Tasty Potatoes, Divine Taste of Chicago, A Taste of the Windy City, Cobb King. So we have a really good variety of food. And of course, we have sweet treats. So we have delicious sweet cheese. I'm also the proud owner of Craven Cookies. So you can get cupcakes, ice cream, cookies, homemade cookies in 15 minutes, kind of stuff. So we just have such a really, really great variety.
And some of them, I know the lady with the giant potatoes has been there for the beginning, right?
Yeah, we have quite a few vendors, several vendors who have been with us since day one, and it's been 4 years now. So, you know, they've done really, really well for themselves, and they feel comfortable, you know, showcasing their business inside of the marketplace. And so they've remained with us, which is really great to see that we've had so many, you know, stick around and stay with us and do a really successful job.
Are your food slots full, or do you still have room for another food vendor or two?
I was super excited for you to ask that question because I know you're a foodie. We are actually all full with our food spots.
Oh, wow.
So again, putting out the message that we can't forget what the SVRC Marketplace stands for and what we do. We're an incubator business space, allowing the opportunity for someone to come in with an idea and make it happen for them. So, you know, the longest piece of that, especially with food businesses, is the food licensing process. And so if you see blank spots, but a coming soon sign, that means they're in the process of their food licensing. And there's a lot of things that can, you know, happen, you know, make it happen at a little bit of slower pace. But right now we are all full with our food vendors. So extremely excited for what's to come.
And there's one other food establishment I want to talk about because it's SVRC's, and that's the boardroom, right?
Yes, the boardroom. So I am now the proud general manager of the boardroom as well. So I am.
Oh, are you really?
I am, and I'm really excited for this because this is something that I've had food service experience for 24 years of my life, and not many people know that. And so we actually are just rolling out a new menu today.
Oh, really? Well, give us an idea what's on it.
Yeah, so we are known for our burgers. So we have a create your own burger. It's our boardroom burger specialties. We'll also offer flatbreads. We'll have our very, very famous appetizers. Our delicious fresh salads, fresh soups made daily. So it's going to be a simple menu, but it's going to be everything that, it just fits everybody. You can find something on the menu. And we also have a really nice, beautiful alcohol list. And we also are serving mocktails as well. So no alcohol beverages along with flight.
Just
super excited.
Does the boardroom have a website?
It's going to be launched in the next week. Yes,
okay.
We have our own separate website. So you'll be able to take a peek at that.
And what are the hours of the boardroom?
So the boardroom is open Wednesday through Saturday, and we're open 11 a.m. till 10 p.m.
All right. Hang on. We're going to take a break, come back, talk about the other businesses in the downtown marketplace, the SVRC Marketplace, with Rachel Trumbull, the market manager and general manager of the boardroom. We'll be back.
Steve, were you at paintball again?
Maybe.
What now?
Well, around the corner.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And they'll be spreading road salt, which is going to make your car rust.
Yeah.
Well, I took your car to paintball to get it rust proofed so it won't rust.
Paintball does rust proofing? I thought they were just a body shop.
No, they do all kinds of car stuff, even detailing to clean up the chili I spilled.
What?
Gotta go.
Protect your car with rust proofing and undercoating from Paintball on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintballrepair.com.
It's time to play the WSGW Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Roofmax. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $2,000 by entering this football word online at WSGW.com. And the word this hour is super, S-U-P-E-R, super as in Super Bowl. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest, must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. The Football Bucks Blitz contest presented by Ben and Ruth Max on WSGW.
Some politicians drive me nuts. It's like the rules just don't apply to them.
Uh-oh, what now?
It's that Kristen McDonald rivet.
Is she one of those politicians that spends, making inflation worse?
Yes, but it's even worse with Rivet. She voted herself a pay raise on her taxpayer-funded salary.
Unbelievable.
And she was hiking her own pay while raising rates and fees for people like us.
We already can't pay our bills, and she's just making it worse. Only politicians like Kristen McDonald Rivet can get away with a scheme like that.
Worst part is, now she wants a promotion. She's running for state senate. Imagine what kind of damage she'd do if we send her to Lansing.
I'd never vote for a politician like Kristen McDonald Rivet.
Higher prices for us, higher salary for her. Say no to Kristen McDonald Rivet.
Paid for with regulated funds by the Senate Republican, advised by Annette Glenn for state senate.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss in contest with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Art Lewis here for WSGW, inviting you to explore America's last frontier, Alaska, from August 30th to September 10th, 2023. You'll fly from Detroit to Fairbanks for the start of a 12-day land and sea adventure. Ride the stern wheel of discovery as you learn about Alaska's diverse culture and rich history. Then it's on to Denali National Park for a tundra wilderness tour. From Denali, you'll ride a luxury dome rail car to Talkeetna and stay at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. The next day, aboard Holland America's New Amsterdam for a 7-night cruise. You'll see Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay, plus stops in Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan, before sailing the inside passage to your final destination of Vancouver, BC. Past experience tells us this will sell out fast. For a brochure, send your address to me and I will forward the brochure to you. Send to artlewis@wsgw.com. That's ARTLEWIS at WSGW.com. Alaska is calling.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, you are listening to 100.80 WSGW.
And we're back with you on Focus, talking to Rachel Trumbull, who is the market manager at the SVRC Marketplace in downtown Saginaw. We've talked a lot about food, but that's not all that there is inside the marketplace. So tell us about some of the other businesses, Rachel.
We have quite a few retail businesses as well. So we have, of course, our Flowers by Roman shop, who does amazing, beautiful flowers. She does special orders. If you want to just grab a rose for something, to make somebody's day, she has those. We also have Purple Sage Bead Store jewelry pieces, one of a kind for you, or fixes them, and of course has a beautiful store that you can go create your own. We have Thrive Creative Innovations, and she is a place that houses not only her beautiful and unique items, but she also houses many other small businesses within the area. Maybe they have a full-time job and they just can't open up their own small business. So what she does is she brings those items in and sells them at her shop. So her shop is very, very unique, very cool, and it's just another way of, getting other small businesses that growth and recognition. We also have clothes and jewelry and sunglasses, you name it, they have it. So, and they're great. The owners are so great, so personable. And I'm trying to think, goodness, we have Beauty and Beyond, a children's boutique. She also makes natural lotions and hair products and things like that. She does a phenomenal job. Jazzy Soul Boutique, they sell the most adorable shoes, and it's boot season. They're rolling out some boots this week, so you have to check them out. Again, it's just a one-stop shopping experience.
So let me ask you this, because we're heading toward Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. Do you have special events during the autumn and fall?
We absolutely do. So we have our big Halloween event, which is October 29th. It is going to be a Saturday this year, so we can do some stuff with the downtown Saginaw Farmers Market, and it's going to be from 12 to 4. This is probably one of our biggest events. It's free to all individuals, families, kids. Please come dressed up. We'll have a healthy Halloween treat that the marketplace will have some kiddos create. And then all of our vendors, to include some community partners, the community's welcome to come and just have a really great event with these kids and offer some kind of free treat. What kid doesn't love candy? But you can, do whatever you want. You can promote your business. It's at no cost. You can set up a table, and as long as you're bringing something to hand out to the kiddos, then we welcome any community partner that wants to partner with us. But that is one of our biggest events. So the kids, trick-or-treating can be iffy weather-wise, and it's always warm and dry inside of the marketplace. So,
all right, let's talk about somebody who might have a business idea and maybe look at the marketplace as a place to start their business. What do they need to do?
So if they are wanting to start their own business, I now have a marketplace liaison. So her name is Jill. She's been a part of SVRC Industries for going on about 4 years. So she is going to be facilitating, helping those individuals who are interested. So they can still reach out to my email. Her email will be added to all of the other areas that my email is on. But we both will take the time to set up an appointment with that individual and set up an appointment so we can go over details as far as how do they get licensed,
right?
What kind of organizations in Saginaw can help them with that, because we do have one, Saginaw Economic, SEDC. They help with the financial portion of it, offering loans, and then we have SVDC, which is a small business consultant, a one-on-one consultant that can help an individual and, of course, give them the avenues to do so.
How do they get a hold of you, Rachel?
So they can email me at rtrumble@SVRC Industries. And then you can also reach, contact phone number is 989-770-0233. So it will be myself answering and connecting with Jill. So
all right.
To have another person team, yeah.
Well, have a good time with the Halloween, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Sounds good. Thank you, Art.
Thanks, Rachel. Bye-bye now. Rachel Trumbull, the market manager and general manager of Boardroom at SVRC Marketplace. And we'll be back to close out.
Hello, this is Kevin from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are Mid-Michigan's premier CPL academy.